Hi everyone, it's Justine. Today we're talking about where to spot trends, and that is not by Googling Trends 2018, for example, because if you do that, you'll get a million results, you'll get blog posts, cheap articles, online magazines, stuff that's written too fast. The 10 belts you'll absolutely need this winter. The 20 pairs of shoes every fashionista should have in her closet. And trends in there are usually fads. They're not well reflected, thought through research ideas on what's going to happen in 2 years from now, which is what we would like. So it's not the right method. So here's where I look for trends. Trend agencies are a great place to start. They're really forward-looking, forward-thinking, and they incorporate inspiration also from outside the fashion industry into their work. Why does that matter? If a trend report shows me only pens shapes, pens and pens and pens, I will end up drawing and creating pens that look just like what I've seen because I'm going to be brainwashed. If on the other hand, the trend report shows me paintings, an exhibition, a sculpture, different things from outside of my industry, I still have the freedom, the creativity to interpret what I'm seeing and turn it into pens that are going to look like my inspiration, my tastes, and my design. So when I'm working on fashion design, what I want to look for to get inspiration is materials from outside of my industry. The way trend agencies work is that they produce reports. My favorite one is always the first report of each season that states like the 3 to 5 big ideas that they see coming for the coming month, for the future. I love those reports because they're usually vague. They only give like a big idea direction, and my brain works exactly like that. I always start from the global picture and then cascade an idea down to get textures, colors, shapes, silhouettes, and then the final piece of clothing, the actual design. I always go that way. I go downwards. There are people whose brain work the opposite way. They would start with a detail, with a piece of fabric that they like or a shape that they see on the street, and then cascade it up to what it means in terms of big trend. So you have to find the type of report that works well for you, or use somebody who starts from the top and goes down to the detail level, or does your brain work the opposite way? Apart from those global reports, trend agencies also do make reports about textures, colors, shapes, directions, knits, swimwear, lingerie, footwear, accessories. They do everything, right? And they also produce a lot of reports in between during each season because it's what they get their money from, right? So here again, you need to filter what you want your brain to absorb and what you want to inspire you. You shouldn't read everything because otherwise you'll think again, it's way too much materials. Now let's get very concrete. Here are a few trend agencies that I would personally recommend. Carlin is a French one. That's one of my personal favorites because they pull a lot of arty inspiration into their work, and that worked really well with me. The next one is Péclair Paris. That's also a very famous trend bureau, as they call it in French. The next one is Promo Style. I've worked with them as well. And WGSN, which is the global network merged with StyleSite, in case you knew that one. StyleSite doesn't exist anymore, now it's all in WGSN. Those networks are professional ones. They produce beautiful visual content, though most of it is not free because they make their money out of selling their work and their visual material. However, they usually have a blog, and the blog is for free. I encourage you to read their blogs. They are great sources of inspiration. And make sure you mix the sources, like trends from different countries, so that you have different perspectives in what you're doing. Then there are other ones that are, let's say, rather online based and that give away more of their content for free. For instance, trendwatching.com, you can sync in the quantity of trends they spot in their newsletters. So here you still need to do the editing job after you've received all their input. And another one is trendchecker.net. This one is specialized in identifying micro trends. If you watch my previous trend hunting video, then you know what a micro trend is. Otherwise, watch that video. And Trendchecker, by the way, is right now recruiting trend scouts. So if that's your thing, you can apply on their website. The next huge source of trend inspiration for me is actually to follow opinion leaders. I know, opinion leader is a winning term in the bullshit bingo game. Yeah, true, but let me explain what I mean with that. What I wish it meant is a list of people made by you that you observe because you have noticed that they are ahead of trends, that they have a personal point of view, that they travel the world and get exposed to several different types of influence. And so that overall, the output of their own work is marked by all the influences that you see coming. And of course, that should be somehow transferable to the field or the industry that you're interested in. Having said that, you can't just jump on your computer and search opinion leaders in fashion or fashion influencers, because the result you'd get would be the same list as everyone else, and we don't want that. Instead, build your own list. I know it takes a lot longer, but it's really, really worth it. And your list should also be a living thing, a living document. It should be ever evolving depending on your own experiences, your own influences, and maybe you're going to drop the person from that list and replace him or her by a new person, depending on what you see coming. So it's a moving thing, really. So in order to build that list, you should wonder things like, who has a style that I like? Who has a style that kind of matches my own tastes? Who is making and creating things instead of just using existing stuff that's already on the market, because that's too late. That's not an innovation anymore. Who do I watch on YouTube who I find really inspiring? Who am I looking forward to read every week? Now here is the scoop. You can find many of those people online, but still remember that you need to mix the sources. Personally, I like Tumblr and Instagram to find specific people. I think YouTube is a great source of knowledge as well. If I use Pinterest, usually it's to follow specific people. If you just scroll through the feed of Pinterest, you're gonna die. It's like way too much, and usually the algorithm shows you things that are similar to things that you've already pinned. So by definition, it's not gonna show something really new. So rather follow people who create content or curate into very good boards instead of just pinning everything from everybody. And you can find more links and suggestions in the description right below. And now I'm gonna state the obvious because somebody has to do it. Don't forget offline sources. Offline sources are awesome. It can be a contemporary artist that you discovered in a gallery and really liked. It can be an exhibition that you saw and that somehow clicked in your head and maybe even made it onto your mood board for inspiration purposes later. It can be a fabric technology that made your jaw drop and you really just want to keep that piece somewhere. Or it can just be a detail that you saw on the street and that means a lot to you. The super easy way to keep up with offline inspiration is just to check out what's happening in your region or in your city. Here in Berlin, for example, I buy a magazine like that every 2 weeks, and there's a supplement. Look, next week is Art Week in Berlin with all the program. Very useful. It's doing the job for you. You just have to pick what you want to see. If you're in Berlin next week, by the way, be sure to see me there. The best tip to help you get into this trend hunting mood is probably to remember that it's a matter of practice. I always say that. Fashion is not just glamour and glitter. It's work. So I look at my people's lists and at what they produce and do every single day. Weekday or weekend, doesn't matter. I do that not because I should, but because I just really genuinely enjoy the input that those brilliant people provide me with. By the way, if anybody among you here watching is already working with trends, do you have such a people list you follow? How often do you look at those people? Do you have other trend agencies you like to work with? Which websites do you like to look at? The comment section here below is all yours. Also subscribe to my channel for more fashion videos. I upload a video every Sunday, so every week I try. And if this video was useful for you, give it a thumb up because that helps me very much. Thank you. Now here was the first episode of this series on trend hunting in case you missed it. And here was my video from last week where I discuss where and how to find sustainable and fair clothes instead of just buying fast fashion. I see you next Sunday for a next video. Until then, have a great week and take care. Bye bye.